All right, Mount Rudmore here, and I am back to talk some more Big Brother 25, and a lot has gone down in the last couple days. Very little of it has been, you know, intelligent. Uh, I mean, here's what I'm going to start by saying. I'm just going to remind you of what my draft team was: Blue, Jag, Matt, Cameron, Hisam. That was my team. I'm already one down, and hmm, help me, help me. Oh God, I made so many bad decisions. Anyway, my last stream was in the middle of the pressure cooker. Well, not the middle, but the pressure cooker was ongoing, and at that point, only um, Jared and Sari had dropped out. And then I went to bed because, you know, some people were bold enough to stay awake for the whole thing. I was not one of those people. I'm sorry. When I woke up, there were still 6 people in it 11 hours into the competition, and I'm like, this is pretty amazing. I was so confident they were going to beat the record from BB6. 13 hours, 53 minutes. So here's what happened while I was asleep. Izzy was the third one out. So the Fields family were the first 3 out of the competition. And the way it worked was that no one could leave until 3 people were out. Felicia had just been by herself the whole time, ranting about everything and everyone. But now these 3 go and join her, and wouldn't you know it, the spiraling and the paranoia kicks right back in. Bowie, of course, catches more strays because that's just what she does. That's all Bowie does in this house, catch strays. They start discussing, should we have kept Hisam after all that? Jared finally says that Hisam told him to not trust Sari or Felicia. And Sari's like, we would have never even considered keeping him if you told us this before. And Sari just chastises the crap out of him. Like, I don't think she's come closer to revealing that she's his mother than this moment. I mean, he has come very close to revealing he's her son, but this is the closest Sari has come to revealing the secret, I think. Felicia says that I no longer trust Corey. Partially because he was part of making sure the target stayed on Hisam, and I think also partly because she's sniffing him out and sensing that he's actually pretty good at this. And he might be a big problem sooner rather than later. And, they just continue complaining about the competition together. The whole thing just becomes a roast session. Bowie is the next one to drop after Izzy. So Bowie's the 4th one out. And Felicia is mad that Bowie's going to join her now. Bowie can't do anything. When she's in the competition, she's catching strays. When she drops out, Felicia's like, oh, great, now she's going to be with me. Felicia does not like Bowie at all. And she formed a final 2 with her. Like, yeah, no one actually believes that's going to be real. But Bowie cannot do anything in Felicia's eyes. Matt is the next one out. And to be honest, this was about where I thought he'd end up. I didn't really think he wanted to win all that much. The next one to drop out was Rhett, which actually surprised me. I thought he would be one of the last ones standing. I thought the top 3 were. Sorry, hiccuped. Here's who I thought the top 3 were going to be, assuming Hisam left. I thought it was going to be Cameron, America, and Red. That was my prediction. So I was wrong about Red making it that far, but Cameron and America are still here. And they're still there because Corey is the next one to drop. Out of who was left, I thought he'd last a little longer. I mean, yes, this is about where I thought he'd finish, but I of the people remaining, I thought that he'd go a little further. I definitely underestimated Blue in this competition. I thought Bowie would be the first one out, followed by Blue. And to a lesser extent, I didn't think Mimi would go quite this far. I thought, kind of in the middle, probably. And I guess technically, if Mimi were to end up in fifth place for this whole thing, then I guess that would probably be the middle out of 12, but doesn't matter because Blue was the next one out. Of course, right after I tweeted I really underestimated Blue in this challenge, a couple minutes later, Blue decides to drop out, which is just the first way in this cycle of mine that Blue lets me down. But we will get to that. Don't you worry. Jag is the next one out. And that just leaves us with Cameron, America, and Mimi. I was right not to underestimate Cameron. Nobody wanted Cameron to win. But I was like, I think he's got a shot. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. It's his military background that I thought might have given him some extra level of focus, which is also why I thought Red would go far. But America, holding that button for that Mr. Beast competition, holding it down for 46 hours, that's what made me think she was probably the real contender for this one. And I did predict Cameron would come in second to her. And sure enough, Mimi comes in third. And at this point, we're closing in on the record. Like, will they surpass the first pressure cooker and make this the longest competition in Big Brother history? All it needed to beat was 13 hours and 53 minutes. All it needed to beat. Like, that isn't an insane number. Well, Cameron won HOH. And he won America Let Go of her button 13 hours and 52 minutes. I'm still not 100% sure this is real, but this is the official story. This competition lasted 13 hours and 52 minutes. 1 minute shy. But yes, there we have it. Cameron, head of household. And my immediate reaction, and I tweeted this, my immediate reaction was like Walter White in the crawl space when he learns Skylar gave away his money to get them out of a bind. He just starts screaming and freaking out, just having a complete mental breakdown. And then that mental breakdown shifts gears into him cracking up hysterically. That's what I kind of was like inside. Just like, oh my god, how could it be this horrible? That's basically where I was at. Because I just wasn't sure what he would do at first. And the fact that, it is Friday, it's nomination day, he's got less time to get information, make connections, and make the best decision for his game. So, in that regard, I was like, I don't really know what he's going to do here. But what I was confident about is that Izzy was going to be in a tailspin. And she has not taken she has not taken Cameron winning HOH particularly well. And I was thinking it's possible she could get herself nominated. Sari actually tells Jared she'd sacrifice her game for him if they end up targeted. Like, I've gamed before. This is your time. But here's the thing. Suri would do just fine without Jared. Like, if it's possible for Suri to do better, then it's only through Jared leaving. Now, if Suri were to leave before Jared, he's not going to be far behind her. He won't have any real protection. I mean, yes, okay, Izzy and Felicia to an extent, but, they could decide he might not be worth it. Could just be like, we're only with him, we were only close to him because Suri was close to him. So, we don't really care about him anymore. Oh, there's one thing I missed during the pressure cooker. Is he going back to? I mean, I guess I am kind of continuing to go on this train of thought of how Izzy is just not handling a Cameron HOH very well. She's complaining while watching the pressure cooker that Cameron said he wants to win. Like that offended her. Izzy, he's been nominated 2 weeks in a row. If you've been nominated 2 weeks in a row and survived and you don't want to win HOH, then you should be nominated a third time, a third and final time, because you should just leave after that. If being nominated twice doesn't light a fire under you, I don't know what will. So, Red is like the one person that I am 100% confident in to not be nominated, because Red and Cameron are buddies. Red tells Cameron that Izzy didn't look excited at all. Cameron says that he'll take that under advisement, but he notes what happened to Hisam in regards to allies turning on him due to a bad HOH. But here's the thing. Hisam was in a good spot, and he ruined it for himself. Cameron has never been in a good spot. Like, even now, it's just like, okay, you're safe for this week, but you're not going to be HOH next week, so unless Red wins, they're just going to go right for you again. So, I don't think it's quite the same. Hisam blew up his own spot. Cameron doesn't have a spot at all. His only, honestly, I think Cameron's only hope of surviving next week is if Red were to be the next HOH. So, after seeing Cameron strategize for a while, or I use strategize loosely, but I'm just thinking it's going to be a rather anticlimactic week. He's just going to nominate Jag and Blue. And he does tell Bowie that Jag is the target. There was a lot of speculation about this because it was a, a memorable factor in the first pressure cooker. Was there a deal offered between the last two standing, Cameron and America? Uh, Cameron did promise America safety and apparently promised Mimi safety as well. Now, of course, this doesn't mean too much. Because the way the pressure cooker went the first time came down to Jen and Kaser. Jen promised Kaser safety. Kaser let her win HOH, and Jen took Kaser out. So I do not for 1 second think that America is safe. Or Mimi, for that matter. But I'm just thinking, since that did blow up in Jen's face, she went right after Kaser. Maybe Cameron won't do that. Maybe he at least knows enough not to do that. I mean, I'm not saying like that's what he does. I'm saying he doesn't seem to know anything about this game with how he's playing. Jared continues to be completely irritating and gross and ridiculous. He thinks that America threw the competition. The thing about this competition lasting 13 hours, 52 minutes, that's because that was America's time. That is how long she lasted. Jared lasted an hour and a half. So it really is so frustrating seeing Jared have such an unearned amount of confidence. I mean, he couldn't even put the puzzle pieces in a box on that in the first challenge. He couldn't figure that competition out. And who got that done first? America. Who did it faster than Jared? Bowie. So he is in no position to be upset at someone for throwing a competition after 13 hours, almost 14 hours, when he himself didn't even last he didn't last anywhere near that time. He lasted barely a tenth as long. Just shut up, Jared, honestly. There is zero chance, absolutely zero chance, Jared would be a serious contender for this for this show if Suri was not here. Okay, zero chance. He might have even have been taken out already. So yeah, that was just a very bold statement from him that I did not appreciate, and no one appreciated. Cameron talks to Jag, and he tells him he's putting him and Blue up, but he still wants him to win veto. I mean, like, it seems like he's trying to play safe, but it's really coming off more lazy. He's just putting up two people that everyone else wants out. He's not playing his own game. I vaguely recall someone, and I think it was Cameron, talking about a power structure in the house of like Izzy and Sari and Felicia. But now I'm starting to think maybe it wasn't Cameron because if he really believed that, he'd just put two of them up right away. Like, if there's one powerful person, you can maybe backdoor them. But if there's a power structure, you got to put up a couple people in that structure. But no, he's just playing it safe. He doesn't want to make any waves, even though everyone is just wanting him to leave anyway. Like, I don't know if there is any combination of people Cameron could have put up that could have bumped him up in the house rankings, but Blue and Jag definitely did not boost his spot at all because, like, no one respects him for it. You know, if he were to make a big move, he might actually rally some support. You know, Corey has been eyeing this power structure for a while. So Corey would definitely be on board for something big. America, if I recall correctly, she said outright that if she won, she was going to take the big shot at Sari and her side, basically. You know, Jag and Blue would have gone along with this just to, you know, have something going for them. Matt, actually, maybe not Matt, but Mimi, possibly. Red, he's loyal to Cameron, so if Cameron said he wanted to do this, Red would have been on board with it. So, yeah, Cameron could have made a big move, but instead he's barely moving at all. Corey, he starts doing his thing, planting seeds. He tells Cameron that Izzy might be gunning for him, or will be soon. And, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, Corey, you're playing with fire. Well, you know what? Best players play with fire and get away with it. Now, this isn't to say Corey will definitely get away with it, but, you know, I appreciate the effort. You know, Fact of the matter is, Corey is the most likely person to actually successfully break up the power structure of Suri, Izzy, and Felicia. And honestly, I don't know if Corey would do this next, but he probably should. If he were to win HOH next, I think he should put up two of them. I get that he's pretty close to Suri, so maybe he should put up Izzy and Felicia. I don't think he would do this, but I think he should. Because I'm going to talk about it later, but they're really starting to sniff him out at this point. I'm going to make a very niche Pokemon comparison here in regards to Suri versus Corey. To my one viewer, I hope you get this reference. But the way I see it, Suri is like Mewtwo, and Corey is Parasect. Mewtwo is a Psychic type, Parasect is a Bug type. Bug is the one type that is strong against Psychic Pokemon, but Bug is not a very strong type in general. But Parasect is the best Bug Pokemon of Generation 1. I'm only talking in Generation 1 here. Parasect is the best Bug Pokemon. So it has the best chance of taking out Mewtwo. But Parasect can only do this if things go a very specific way. And it requires Mewtwo not being ready for Parasect. If Mewtwo is ready for Parasect, then the fight's going to be over immediately. So, Corey has the chance. Corey has a chance, but things have to go just perfectly for him. And I think the longer he waits to make that move, I think the less likely it'll be for him. I honestly, he should do it if he wins HOH this week, on Thursday or Friday if it goes long again. You know what I mean. If Corey's the next HOH, he should do it. Cameron talks to Blue, tells her that she's going up, encourages her to win the veto so that he can do something else, like maybe something big. But here's the problem. If he were to put Jag and Blue on the block, he won't have the votes to do anything. Like, okay, he'll have Red. If Jag or Blue comes off, then he'll have whichever one comes off. That'll be about it. Suri and everyone else will just control the vote. Red tells Cameron that Izzy would be his first pick to go. Cameron says that he would backdoor her if things went sideways. Again, that won't work. You will not have the votes to get out Izzy. Like I said, the only chance Izzy has of leaving is if she's sitting next to Suri or Jared or maybe Felicia. I think Izzy versus Felicia, that would be a close one. But I honestly still think Izzy would leave between the two of them. But yeah, if Izzy's sitting next to Jagger Blue, Izzy is 100% staying. Corey tells Suri that it's a mistake for Cameron to put up Jag and Blue, and he's probably going to do just that. And, just the fact that I was not watching Big Brother in 2005 when they first did the pressure cooker. But a lot of people have been waiting 18 years for this competition to come back. So Cameron winning an iconic competition after such a long wait, and then having a horrible HOH. Just the thought of that was hilarious in a very grim way to me. And Corey, honestly, wanted to keep Cameron around to take a shot at Jag and Blue, but that doesn't mean he thinks it's a good move for Cameron to make. And for that matter, Jag and Blue, if one of them were to win and they went for Cameron and Red, that wouldn't be a particularly good move for them. But still, this is what Corey wanted. And Corey is probably just going to sit back and let Cameron sink himself. But Corey does plant some more seeds. He tells Izzy that he thinks her or Jared would be the replacement. He thinks it's Jared right now, but Red would push for Izzy. And it's at this point I'm starting to wonder, is Cameron actually trying to get Izzy to spiral her way onto the block? Because if he is trying to do that, then, not gonna lie, he has a good chance of succeeding. Because it doesn't take much for Izzy to lose her mind. Which is my favorite and least favorite thing about Izzy. Like, I can't see this leading to victory for her. I mean, Izzy has aligned herself very well, and I see her lasting a very long time. I'll be very surprised if Izzy doesn't make it to, like, final 5 at least. But in that end game, if she is up against, if she's actually forced to compete against, like, her actual core, Sari, Felicia, and Jared, like, if they're all still there, they're gonna eat her alive. Izzy would have to win out, which I don't think would happen. So sure enough, Jag and Blue are nominated. Izzy still thinks that either her or Sari or Jared are the real target. But, Izzy, even if that's the case, you have nothing to worry about. You'll have the votes. Red now thinks that going for Izzy would be a mistake. He's talking he's talking to Cameron about this, and there's a lot of next week talk. Like, oh, we'll do it next week. We'll do it next week. Cameron, you cannot win HOH next week. Red, you may not win HOH next week. I genuinely don't believe it can be too soon to make a big move in the Big Brother house if you do it the right way. That being said, it can very easily be too late. And with Jag and Blue being nominated, I think it's too late for Cameron. Short of Red winning HOH. Um, hold on. I needed to take a drink before this one. Red tells Cameron that if he needs a replacement nominee, shouldn't be Izzy. It could just be me. Red offers himself up. Oh. Hmm. Red being nominated is the one chance Jag and Blue have of both staying in this house. Unless one of them were to win this twist. This new America's Vote power that's coming into the game. But I'm going to talk about that more at the end. If I remember to. I might forget. Sari and Izzy, they are starting to lose trust in Corey when they realize that he still wants Cameron around. He wants Cameron around to keep doing stupid things, I guess. And they say that they want him out after Cameron and Red. So, yeah. Corey's got to be careful. 1 second. I'm sweating a lot. Okay. Sorry about that. Anyway, yeah. Corey's spot is diminishing in Cerie's and Izzy's eyes. But, that being said, with how much they ping-pong back and forth, it might work out for him. Corey's a good player. He can talk his way out of it. I mean, I think if he could convince them that, like, I want Cameron around to keep doing stupid stuff and being an easy target, while while there are other targets going out instead of us. By us, he would mean himself, Cerie, and Izzy. He would want Cameron around to keep doing stupid stuff to either go for the other side or have the other side go for him instead. That's Corey's move, I think. He's gotta justify Cameron being a shield. Matt tells Cerie that Cameron wants an alliance of Matt, Cameron, America, Red, Bowie, Corey, which Cerie already knew. But Matt says, I'll stay close and I'll continue to give you information. And Rat is the latest in the long line of Cerie's moles. Wowee, she did not need Jared. She really did not at all. She would have had so many people acting as her rats without her own son in the house. I mean, everyone else is a better rat than Jared because Jared is just terrible at everything. I have not seen Jared actually do very well yet. Like, the closest I've seen him come to doing well is that Nether Gorgon HOH competition, the one that Hisam won, because it came down to Hisam and Jared. But, Jared lost in the end because he chose the wrong door because he didn't get all the information. And I feel like that's probably going to be symbolic of his eventual downfall. At least I hope. I hope he has a downfall. That's the worst part about Jared for me. I still think he's a very likely contender to win. Like, I want him to fail. I want his game to crumble. But he's just so well protected. But yeah, that's how Cerie's doing. Everyone just defers to her. Without her even really trying that hard. Well, it's not entirely fair. She's putting in work. She makes it look effortless is what I meant. I mean, she's been on 4 seasons of Survivor. She's done The Traitor. She's done Snake in the Grass, I think was that one she did with Janelle and Rachel Riley. So, at this point, it probably is easy for her. And that isn't even the end of people telling Cerie everything. Red tells Cerie, like, he gives up his whole game to her, basically. He says, Cameron is thinking about targeting Izzy, but Red says he doesn't think that's a good idea. He even offered himself up as a replacement to keep Legend 25 together. And of everyone in the house, he trusts Cerie the most. Cerie is a hypnotist. Cameron may look like Charles Manson, but Cerie's the one who has a cult. I mean, I don't know how she does it. I struggle so hard in social situations. Like, I've dabbled in stand-up comedy before, but I've been on a break from it for a while because I've had a lot of anxiety. And a big part of going to, like, open mics is making connections, getting to know people, and getting yourself booked on shows. I have never been booked for a show because I am that bad at socializing with people. Do you know what I would give for even 10% of Cerie's social skills? Like, for a month. If I could have 10% of Cerise's social skills for a month, I would make my life 1,000% better. And I am not exaggerating here. Like, just some people have it, some people don't. Some people have it, some people have Asperger's syndrome. And yeah. So I'll say it. I'm man enough to admit it. I'm jealous of Cerise. I'm very jealous of Cerise. So yeah. Cameron made a bad move with his nominations. Red made a bad move, telling Cerise his entire game plan, just where he stands in the game entirely. Now it's Jag's turn to make a bad move. He has decided he would pick Izzy if he were to get house guest choice, because he had a conversation with her, and that made him think that she is truly on his side. America tries to talk to him and be like, no, no, you cannot trust her. But he doesn't really seem to listen. Like he doesn't bend. He's like, nah, I'll still choose Izzy. It'll be fine. She's got my back. We're in an alliance that she definitely still remembers. That's honestly what it seems like. The seven deadly sins, which is Jag, Matt, and Blue, finally linking themselves up with Cerie, Felicia, Izzy, and Jared. I said Jag, Matt, and Blue, my top three preseason picks. I've said that a million times now. Them getting in with the best positioned people in the house, I'm like, I kind of want this to become real. I think this might be good for the three of them. Matt is doing fine, but Jag and Blue, I think, have actually gotten worse at this game as a result of joining an alliance with Cerie. Ultimately, Mimi, Jared, and Red are picked for the veto. And Izzy is picked to host, which makes her paranoid, because what doesn't make Izzy paranoid? This is the same when Riley was HOH and she picked Cerie to host. Izzy's like, oh my god, you know why she picked you, right, Cerie? She's gonna backdoor you. She's definitely gonna backdoor you. I enjoy Izzy far more than Jared, but I think, like with Jared, if Cerie wasn't here, Izzy also probably would not be in this game, or at least would not be a power player like she is. Um, Mimi asks Cameron, if I win, would you want me to leave things the same? And he's like, we'll just do whatever we believe in. You do your thing. How is he less controlling as an HOH? I heard how he talked to Riley. He had a very creepy, very controlling manner. Like, don't hang out with Matt. Don't hang out with Jag. They're not really your friends. I'm your best friend. And yet here he is as HOH, and he's the most passive HOH I've ever seen. Like, I refuse to use Frenchie and Smelvis as positive examples compared to Cameron. I think they are all equally bad HOHs, but for different reasons. Frenchie and Smelvis, well, Frenchie did way too much. Smelvis, he also succumbed to paranoia and stubbornness. Like, the paranoia fed into stubbornness that he still hasn't really broken free from to this day. Hisam is just just going with the flow. And I get when you're not in power, sometimes you do kind of have to go with the flow to an extent because you don't want to get yourself in trouble. But when you're HOH, make yourself the flow. You know? Uproot some things. when Cameron won HOH, there was a thought in my mind like, will he actually end up putting two serious contenders to win this thing on the block? He has no one. And then he proceeded to target two other people who are no one, who have no one. It's just, he is not a head of household. He's a toe of household. He's a little tiny pinky toe of household. Blue and Jared, they talk. They hope that Cameron can be talked into putting up Bowie as a replacement. And I think Mimi also comes up. Or maybe Mimi was later. I'm not really sure. But Blue and Jared at least talk about putting up, or convincing Cameron to put up Bowie as a replacement. And honestly, Blue and Jag were people that would be better for Cameron's game to work with and keep around. And he still nominated them. Bowie, that is also someone that he could work with and make something beneficial happen. So he is possibly dumb enough to do that. Like I'm not. A lot of people are like, "There's no way he's gonna put up Bowie." I'm like, people, you are really underestimating how stupid Cameron is. He's showing us how bad a player he is. Okay, I just heard a noise outside, so here's hoping I don't die. Um, so feeds go down for a while. You know, this is my time when I decompress. I do some other stuff. Feet still weren't back, so I decided to go for a walk. I just walked up my street and back. When I came back, I opened my phone, I checked Twitter, and I returned to the absolute pinnacle of mess. Like, I didn't know it was possible for this season to get messier, but now I don't think anything can possibly top this. I return to Taryn saying that Red won the veto, and BB Updates saying that Cameron won the veto. These are my two most trusted sources, and they're saying different things about who won the veto. I'm like, I don't know what to believe anymore. Like, oh, there is no. There is no deciphering this season. In time, BB Updates deleted their tweet that Cameron had won. And the more I read, the more I came to realize, okay, it is Red. Red did win. And Red is now convinced that there is an alliance within Legend 25. There is. I mean, Felicia, Suri, and Izzy. And their sub-alliances. But does he want to sniff out this alliance or target this alliance in any way? No. He wants to be included in it. Let me get this straight, Cameron and Red. You two don't really have any other close allies in the house. You just have each other. And the two of you have won the power this week. Cameron has won HOH, Red has won veto. Like, there are final twos from years past that dreamt of getting this kind of opportunity, having this kind of control, but they couldn't win at the right time, if at all, and they couldn't do anything, and they had to watch their ally leave, or had to, leave over their ally. Like, there are so many potential final twos from years past that would have done so much with this kind of position, and Cameron and Red are completely ruining it. This after Cameron won the most iconic and the most wanted back on the show. I don't know. I don't know how I was planning on structuring that sentence, but it didn't come out well. But my point is, everybody wanted Pressure Cooker back, and then a very unpopular contestant wins it, both inside and outside the house. And he proceeds to just completely squander his HOH, and squander it more when his own close ally wins veto. It's mind-numbing. But we're not done with the mind-numbing stuff yet. Jag and Blue talk about how they need help this week. They are in a bad position. So, do they go to Cameron and Red? Two guys that they know are working together? Cameron is a guy they've worked with in the past. They could maybe help him in some kind of way. They could plead their case to him and just be like, hey, we can get this thing going again. Is that what they do? No. They are also taken in by the mist of Suri. They talk about how they need Suri, Felicia, and Izzy to help them this week. You are both nominated. They cannot help you both. If Izzy is the replacement nominee, if one of you were to come down, which I don't think is even going to happen, Red doesn't seem that interested in making that happen. He doesn't seem that interested in using it. If Izzy were to be the replacement, they are not even going to entertain the thought of keeping the one of you that is still there. And America did suggest that they need to go to Cameron and Red, but they ignored her. Again, my draft team contains Cameron, Jag, and Blue, and they are all playing horribly right now. My draft team also contains Hisam, and he's gone. Matt is my only hope at this point, and, I feel comfortable that he can make it, probably past the halfway point. I could see Matt coming in like 6th or 7th place if he were to win at the right time. But, yeah. Oh, help me! So, yeah, that's. I've given up on my draft team this year. I still like Matt and Jag, but Jag is just horrendous at this game. He is incredible. It is incredible how bad he is at this game. And Matt is okay at the game. But in this house, okay is not going to win. So, yeah. Here's the thing. I do these drafts with my dad and my brother. This is the 3rd year we've done it. And BB23, all of us still had people in the top 5. In fact, the BB23, all of our first round draft picks were the final 3. My dad's first pick was Derek F. My brother's first pick was Azam. My first pick was Xavier. Last year, we all, again, had one person in the final 5 at least. I mean, I had Taylor and Monty. My dad had Alyssa, and my brother had Brittany. And Turner was the one we left out. But still, we all had someone in the top 5. I picked the winners both times we did this draft before. And now I am honestly thinking I am not going to have any of my draft picks in the top 5. Oh, I rolled gutter balls this year. My draft team is an absolute horror show. Sari and Jared talk about how Izzy is freaking out too much. And I've been saying this. Izzy could still get herself on the block. And at this point, that is the only chance that anything is going to change. Because Cameron, Red, Blue, and Jag, they are all playing horrendously bad games. I can safely say I've seen worse games than all of them. Smelvis, I think, is truly the worst player of all time. Like it's shocking how many things he got wrong. He got exactly 0 things right his entire time in the game, other than winning a couple competitions. But so what? He had no sense of strategy. That being said, I have never seen this many people playing this poorly at one time in the house. Granted, I did not watch the BB19 live feeds, or really keep up with them in any way. But yeah, this is truly something else. All right, time to see if there's been any more absolute nonsense. Oh, apparently Sari is, well, this is according to Taryn, lining up her shot on Corey. Wants Matt to replace him. Oh boy. Maybe Corey's in more trouble than I thought. Sari is apparently concerned that Jagger Blue is going to reveal the Seven Deadly Sins alliance, which is what Jag and Blue should have done as soon as Cameron said he was going to nominate them. All right, that's just what's on my timeline. I'll check BB updates. I don't follow BB updates directly just because my my timeline would just be flooded. And BB Daily, I like to go in order. Oh, but the last time BB Daily updated was deleting their Cameron has won veto tweet. I mean, I'm not really seeing anything to indicate that anything's going to change in regards to Jagger Blue leaving. We have another instance of Bowie entering a room and interrupting game talk. That's all Bowie does. But yeah, as far as I can tell, no one's really pushing for the veto to be used. Red doesn't seem interested in using it. So I'm thinking nominees are going to stay the same. Jagger Blue is going to leave. Unless. Now, this is where I want to talk about the twist. So, Apparently, this was the last day for voting for it, or yesterday was, because it's officially Sunday now. But yeah, Saturday apparently was when the voting for it ended. And the top four House guests in the vote are going to compete for some kind of power that I I don't know if it said will keep them safe or will give them the chance. But what I remember is that it's good for this eviction and the next one. So, like, my mind is immediately going to: is this another Caitlyn puzzle, a 7-piece puzzle that you have to stack up in 3 minutes that probably 99% of people on Earth could have done, but Caitlyn was not in that 99%? Oh, like, will it be a situation like that? Now, Jag is a pretty popular person that people are voting for, mostly because I think it's more because people want to stick it to Cameron more than they like Jag, because Jag is not earning it right now. Yes, he is in jeopardy right now, but Corey is also in jeopardy. America is also in jeopardy. And I hope that Corey and America at least get to play for it. Or at least one of them. I mean, I admit, I sent some votes Jag's way because, listen, as bad as he is, I still like him. You know, I officially sympathize with the Faute fans. Like, I liked them. I liked some of them individually, but not like as an alliance. They were just so bad. I liked level 6 at the time, but then in hindsight, I'm like, oh, no, this actually wasn't that good. I mean, technically it was good, but it wasn't that interesting. Um, yeah, I think it would be best in the hands of Corey to protect either himself or America next week. I I would honestly, I'm saying this about my first round draft pick, but I really would prefer Blue Leave at this point, because I think her and Jag are equally terrible at the game. But I still like Jag. Like, on a personal level, I still like the guy. Blue, just ever since this really uncomfortable showmance with Jared started, where they both have people at home apparently, I just, I haven't really been enjoying it. Like, Blue was not a great player to start with, but she's gotten even worse. Like, it's just her and Jared. And that's also why gameplay has gotten even worse. He's not even really doing much at this point. So, listen, I am not as anti-showmance as most people. I really wanted Taylor and Joseph to happen last year. I also really wanted Derek X and Hannah to happen the year before, but, Derek and Claire is also pretty good. Um, this is not a good showmance. Okay? Neither of them are interesting. It's made both of them worse at the game. It's like it on some level it's even worse than Kyle and Alyssa last year. Because Kyle was actually a really good player before that showmance started. I mean, I guess it's kind of the case with Jared, but like, was he really that good or was he just protected? It's so frustrating to me that Jared is doing just about everything wrong in this game, and he's still in a very good position. I think, honestly, between Jag and Blue, if I had to guess, I think it's going to be Jag that leaves if he doesn't win this power for himself and isn't able to save himself with it. So yeah, that's my prediction. Of course, we still have time. We still have time for people to spiral, but honestly, I think Suri, Felicia, and Izzy, if there's ever a week they can take it easy, it's this week. Because I think they can probably see just how poorly everybody's playing. And it's like, you don't have to spin out. They're doing it for you. they're cannibalizing themselves. All these people that could have potentially gotten together to take a shot at you, they're just going for each other. So yeah. All right, I'm gonna check one more time for anything of value. Corey is my favorite person in this game. I've said this the last few streams, I think, but I'm starting to get worried about him. He doesn't deserve to leave this soon. Not when there are so many bad players in the house. My phone almost fell. If Corey does leave, then I'm gonna be back on my campaign of wanting an all pre-juror season because Corey's too good. He doesn't deserve to go yet. I just I just want him to at least make it to jury because then at least I think worst case scenario his jury vote becomes a factor in gameplay, and I think that's like at least you're going out of the house with a legacy. I don't want him to leave yet though. I just don't. So I'm hoping Corey can finally squeeze out a win or America. But apparently they did both throw the pressure cooker, and yeah, we'll see if it's a case or situation all over again. Throwing it, spelling their doom. All right, that's gonna do it for me. Thank you for watching. Uh, Follow me on Twitter at NickRhymesYT. I have links to my Twitch channel and my YouTube channel there where you can watch all my past streams and other stuff I do, because I do occasionally post other stuff. And on Twitter, you can get my thoughts on Big Brother shenanigans as they are happening. All right, that's it for me. I will see you next time. Peace out.